Hello, my name is Russell Myers. Welcome to Issues Unite. When Biden took office, when he was running for office, he was talking about using diplomacy and engaging with other countries. Well, as it is, he has kind of a strange way of showing his idea of diplomacy. However, it's not just Biden, it's all of Congress. What they consider diplomacy is not diplomacy. Let's take a look at what some of this diplomacy entails. All right, so this is from October 5th. U.S. senators suggest expelling 300 Russian diplomats amid embassy dispute. Now, I've heard elsewhere that he is actually considering expelling 155 Russian diplomats. But this article, U.S. Democrat and Republican senators urge President Joe Biden to expel 300 Russian diplomats from the United States if Moscow does not issue more visas for Americans to represent Washington in Russia. Russia, in August, banned the U.S. Embassy in Moscow from retaining, hiring, or contracting Russian or third country staff, except for guards, forcing the mission to let go 182 employees and dozens of contractors, the State Department said. Let's go back up to that top. All right. If Moscow does not issue more visas for Americans to represent Washington and Russia, pardon me, but they're banning hiring Russian contractors and staff. That doesn't have anything to do with okay. Anyway. All right. Honestly, this is a wise move to me by Russia to not allow Russian citizens to be working in the embassies, in the American embassies. The more Russian citizens you have working there, the more opportunity you have for, spying and, etc. Anyway, that meant there are only about 100 U.S. diplomats in Russia compared with 400 Russian diplomats across the United States, the senators said. This disproportionality in diplomatic representation is unacceptable. Accordingly, Russia must issue enough visas to approach parity between the number of American diplomats serving in Russia and the number of Russian diplomats serving in the United States. I didn't see anything about this, about them denying visas to Americans in this. They stopped Russian citizens and contractors from working for the embassy. So how does this even fit? All right, but okay, so 100 U.S. diplomats in Russia compared with 400 Russian diplomats across the United States. Let's take a look at this. We know that there are about 330 million Americans, right? And not only that, but okay, we'll get to other things. Look at the population of Russia. 330 million compared to 144.1 million Russian citizens. This is population of Russia, right here, 144.1 million. Now, different sources give you different numbers, but they're between 144 and 146 million. So it makes sense that there should be, literally, since there are fewer Russians, there should actually be fewer American diplomats in Russia, don't you think? Is that, I don't know. Maybe some people think that because they have fewer people, they should have fewer diplomats, but, look at the military and, trade, etc., the economies of the countries, compare the size of them. Russia has an economy that is less than that of California. So, I don't see where Russia is saying they won't allow, embassy staff to come from the United States. They just don't want Russians working there. This is what they're really working. They're trying to eliminate spying and propaganda. The National Endowment for Democracy's influence, which is backed by the CIA, and so forth and so on. So none of this is diplomacy. This is not diplomacy. Neither is Biden's use of national emergencies. I've talked about his use of national emergencies before, but that was months ago. Now, you can follow along with me very easily on this. Go to whitehouse.gov and follow along with me. Pause the video, bring up that page, go up to the right, top right, briefing room, use the search tool, and type in national emergency. So pause the video, bring that up, and then restart the video, and you can listen and follow along as I'm doing this. What you're going to find is national emergency. Go down here to the bottom. Look at this. 42 pages. This is just since January of this year. 42 pages involving national emergency. So, what are some of these emergencies? Sudan, Congo, Colombia, Syria, continuation of the national emergency with respect to persons who commit, threaten to commit, or support terrorism. Define supporting terrorism. All right. Let me go back to the Russian issue for just a moment, because Biden is already talking about Russian interference in the 2022 election. No specifics given, just like all of Russiagate. There are no specifics given. And I'll get to that in a minute, though. I'll go back to that. All right. Let's go to page 2 on this national emergency list. Respect to certain terrorist attacks. National emergency with respect to foreign interference in or undermining public confidence in United States elections. I don't think any foreign government needs to be involved for us to, lose confidence in U.S. elections. That has nothing to do with other countries. All right. Continuation of the national emergency with respect to export control regulations. Lebanon. Mali. How is Mali a U.S. national emergency? Mali. Lebanon. Mali. Page 3. All right. Transnational criminal organizations. Well, you know damn well that he is not talking about U.S. oil corporations or weapons contractors. Hong Kong, North Korea, Belarus, Western Balkans. Page 4. Respect to securing the information and communications technology and services supply chain. Yemen. Where he's talking about Yemen, he is not talking about the attack on the Yemeni people. He is talking about the Yemeni government being a national security concern for the United States. In other words, this all has to do with backing Saudi Arabia against Yemen. That's what this is about. That's from May. Yemen, Iraq, Central African Republic, Syria, go to page 5. I'm not going to keep doing this, but yeah, Somalia, South Sudan, malicious cyber-enabled activities. You know, talking on social media or posting YouTube videos is a cyber-enabled activity. Malicious? Who defines what is malicious? You don't, I don't. South Sudan, Iran, Zimbabwe. So all these things are considered national security concerns by the Biden administration. And where does any diplomacy come in with all of these? If he is considering all of these national security concerns, and he is always talking about the security apparatus, national defense, weapons, keep increasing the Pentagon budget, and more money going toward the intelligence agencies, which isn't even discussed. We don't even know how much money goes to the so-called intelligence agencies. We have no idea. But I brought up before, when you add the intelligence agencies' budgets to the Pentagon budget and the VA and the Department of Homeland Security, popular numbers say we spend more than the next 11 countries combined, which comes to 39% of global warfare funding. That's the popular number, and that's just using the Pentagon budget. When you add all these intelligence agencies and DHS and VA, all of that together with the Pentagon budget, we spend more on so-called defense than every other country on earth combined, even though we account for 4% of the global population. This is not diplomacy. When you're naming all of these countries and what is happening in all of these countries as a national emergency, that is not diplomacy. That is aggression. All right, so dispelling diplomats, aggression toward China, aggression toward Venezuela and Iran and Somalia and Yemen and Palestine, and keep on going, South Sudan, Congo, I've said before, we've got troops in 50 of 54 African nations. And it's all military. It's all military occupation. There's nothing coming from this administration, from our government, at any level that has to do with working toward peace. Nothing at all. We, the American people, we are the ones that need to push toward peace. We are the ones that need to get in contact with our elected officials and tell them, stop this shit. Spend more money on actual diplomatic efforts, on helping the American people. If we can spend all this money on warfare, we can spend money on our own people. And stop trying to overthrow or dictate to other governments. Stop the imperialism. We are not an empire. Well, we shouldn't be an empire. All right, share this video. Talk about these subjects. Stop falling for this bullshit claiming that, anything is any better under this administration than the last one. Stop the bullshit. Stop believing that there's any diplomacy going on at all. Because it's not. It's not happening. Yeah, when you're accusing all these other countries of things that have nothing to do with us, really, and things that you cannot prove, that's not diplomacy. That is attempting to force us into more wars. All right? Share this video. Talk about these subjects. If you can, please donate $1 a month to help expand the channel, and I will catch you in the next one. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.